What is up, football fans? Welcome to Bench Talk. This is the show where we talk about all things football. With me, as always, is my co-host Aman Talad. How are you doing, my brother?
Very good, thank you. Very excited to talk about the weekend's fixtures. A lot has happened, and definitely an overarching theme I think was a lot can change in a week, which is pretty crazy. I think so. Very excited.
Yeah. So before we get into it, for those who like to see the podcast, you can watch us on YouTube, and for the listeners, you can find us on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. So Aman, take it away, brother.
I definitely think we should start at Chelsea and Tottenham, a game that had a lot of things happening. So what are your thoughts? What are your first thoughts on that game?
I thought Chelsea were brilliant. I want to praise Chelsea. We were quite tough on them last week, because it was quite a boring game against Everton. Mm-hmm. But the speed of the football was awesome. Sterling was good. Kukurea was good. And Koulibaly, can we talk about that goal?
Man.
He definitely must have meant that technique. It wasn't like, we spoke about last week, Shah.
Yes.
Where it looked like, just a defender smashing the ball.
Yeah.
But this one, Koulibaly, cuts across it. Such good technique and a fantastic goal. And he looks like he's just slotted straight in at Chelsea.
Definitely taking that Rudiger role.
Yeah.
Rudiger who, man? Yeah, exactly. Absolutely agree with you. I think, honestly, I'm trying to think of all the goals, and there were a lot of good goals this weekend, but just because the cross came in and Koulibaly hitting it first time on the volley like that, as a defender, I've got to give him the goal of the weekend. It was a brilliant goal. And yes, Chelsea were by far the better team.
Yeah. That
we cannot deny. Much better than they were against Everton. And it's funny because a lot of people have been really rating Tottenham, that this is the first full season under Conte and they're going to be this incredible team, but if you just take the results away, just the actual performance, they were really not in the game. They were scratching. They were just they looked like they were playing like a bottom of the league side, playing a top league side, just trying to get balls forward and stuff. So it was. I mean, fair play to them for getting those goals with some help, I think, controversially here and there, but they did not look like
it didn't look like they could get out of their half.
Absolutely.
And Højbjerg goes and gets the equalizer.
Yes.
Also quite a controversial one. Oh. What do you think? Was Richarlison in Mendy's eye line?
I'm going to be honest. I think it was a 50-50. Because maybe it's, I think that because in comparison to the other goal, it was not as clearly not a goal. I think it was, he was in a position, I know Tuchel's side was he leant into the ball, which made it look like he was going for the ball, which obviously makes him a clear target that he's offside. But he was, I looked at it back and he was just standing there. He kind of just turned his body. I definitely think he put Mendy off, which is why
he had to dive late. Yeah.
Exactly, which is maybe why the goal was scored. But I mean, in his position, it's so tough for him. You have to be still. If you make a slightest movement, you're going to get caught offside. If he tried to get out of the way on purpose, he could have maybe made the decision more clear that he was in offside position and the goal wouldn't have counted. So in his position, stand still, hope the decision goes your way. It went their way. Fair enough. Yeah.
And amongst those goal celebrations, the first of the two fights between Tuchel and Conte.
Yeah, that was huge, eh? I mean, what do you think that, what do you think caused such tension between two managers that I've never seen have a problem with each other in the past,
There was something that Tuchel said in his press conference before the game, where he was basically saying, don't believe everything that Conte says, because he's not going to really give away his tactics and all that stuff. So I'm not sure if that's what sparked it, or if it was just a previous Chelsea manager coming back to Stamford Bridge, and if that, sparked something. But that fight, I think, actually helped Chelsea, because that got the crowd up.
Yes.
And then James goes and gets the second goal for Chelsea. And then the real controversial decision, which it's not even controversial. I don't think there's a debate. How? So Tottenham get the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Romero pulls Kukurea, not just I'm just gonna tug your hair. Pulls him to the floor. It goes to VAR, and basically what VAR does is hey, that was quite bad what you did. Don't do that again. You can retake your corner. How are Tottenham allowed to retake their corner after pulling somebody down to the floor? How is that not violent conduct? I don't get it.
If I was a Chelsea fan, I
it.
would be livid. That is one of the most clear. I think it was a red card. Just get that out of the game.
Yes, it's a red card.
Get that out. That is I think it was a red card. If not a red card, absolutely, it should be an orange card if that existed.
There's no ways they should be allowed to take the corner
absolutely
again. I don't understand
and,
that
and so
at
the
all.
so the reason that happened was VAR can only look at a red card incident and penalties.
Yeah.
So now they look and I think you made this point a while back. You said if an incident goes to VAR where it has to be checked for a red card, the chances of it being a yellow card is almost guaranteed.
Yeah, and it's guaranteed to be a foul. It's definitely a foul.
They have to go back and look at something that's really that has to stop the play.
Yeah.
I mean now it's not a red card. That means that it's completely null and void, and the team that caused the offense get to play on. That's not fair. They have to. There's a hole there in the VAR system.
100%, because isn't the role of VAR to fix a clear and obvious error?
Yes.
Which the ref not seeing someone getting pulled to the floor by their hair. That's a clear and obvious error. Something is missed. So
exactly. I mean, I would love to. I know Gary Neville and them are talking about getting us to hear what the ref and the VAR are talking about. And I would love to know what that conversation was.
Yeah.
Yes, he pulled him high, which is a clear offense, but it's not a red card. Does he give the ref the power to say, okay, cool, it's not a red card, but it was still an offense? Or does the ref say, well, if it's not a red card, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Carry on with the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is not the right. That's not how VAR. VAR does not help basically. So that to me was. I mean, let's just quickly talk about the hair pull, but then we also had the incident that led to Tottenham's. Was it their second goal? No, it was the first goal. Sorry, where Havertz got fouled.
Yeah.
Clearly a foul. I mean, the ball was he got the ball, but the manner in which he got the ball was if
went through the play.
Players are going to start doing that, we're going to see a lot of broken legs and a lot of fighting, and the game is going to become very nasty.
100%.
He was clearly beaten. He comes from behind. It's a clear foul. For me. So and then, now let's go to VR again. I know that. What is your thoughts on the whole time period passing before VAR can, which kind of makes VAR irrelevant, basically?
I understand it. I know what they're trying to do, but I don't think that foul was that far back that you can't. There wasn't that too many phases of play.
I think it was
back.
44 seconds.
Which is that's not too
even
bad.
a minute. Yeah.
I mean, for a penalty, they're still. For penalties, I wonder. I don't know how long the time lapses for penalties, because
I'm not sure.
play can go on until the ball goes out of play. They still go and check the penalty.
Yes.
So what is the?
Is there a time limit?
What is the difference? I don't understand.
That's
but going back to the whole corner incident, then there's the retake. They go and they score from that corner. Harry Kane gets his head onto it. It goes off of James's leg and goes in.
Yeah.
Not an own goal. It was on target, but. Then the craziness unfolds, the handshake at the end, which, can I just say, so you can pull somebody by the hair, right, to the floor, okay? But if managers have a handshake that's just too firm, they both get sent off. Like, what?
It is ridiculous.
What is going on?
I don't understand. I honestly don't understand this. It wasn't straight reds? Or because they had the first incident, were they yellow carded for the first incident?
I think it was straight reds, eh?
So they weren't even carded for the first incident.
No,
but the second incident they got straight red carded for that.
I think so.
Wow.
Because I saw a red card pointed at Conte.
Yeah. But it wasn't yellow and then red. That to me doesn't make any sense. There was a really clear altercation in the middle at the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Yellow card them, fair enough. And then there was another altercation, yellow card them, which leads to red card, fair enough. But straight, nothing for the first incident, the exact same incident at the end of the game, and it's straight red. That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But I do like that they made light of it after the game.
Yeah.
You know, they basically said like, "Come on, it's the Premier League. Like, you guys want to see this sort of stuff." You know?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's very cool.
They compared it to, it's like two players on a field when there's like a bad tackle or something, and then they go like chest to chest and they're just angry at each other. It's just like the two managers basically doing the same. But what I will say about Tottenham is, I know that we're saying, you know, they didn't play well, but that is the missing ingredient that Tottenham hasn't had for years.
Yes.
That's why they don't win stuff, because they don't have that nastiness about them, like to win or draw ugly. And Conte has brought that. You can see that's fair play to Tottenham. They really embody Conte on the field. So that's where I will give Tottenham credit. Good. But from a Chelsea perspective,
yeah, they should have won.
They got it right.
I know Mourinho tried to bring the whole ugliness into the game of Tottenham, and you know, maybe that was like a good precursor to, you know, now that they have a little bit of experience from Mourinho, the real Conte.
Yeah,
so
it's not a bad way to look at it.
Yeah. I do have a question for you. I know that Romero played a big role in Tottenham's aggressive fighting, you know, spirit. Do you have any comments on how Romero was handling that game?
I can't stand him, man. I think what really irritated me, look, if he plays for your club, you probably love him, but the way he screamed in James's face when they scored that second goal, literally running right up to him and like basically celebrating his face. I can't stand it when players do that. And fair play to James. Didn't even react at all. But he probably is my moron of the week.
Oh, okay.
My moron of the week for sure.
If you're going to be a moron, that's definitely one way to do it. And then last few comments on Tottenham and Chelsea. I know there's a petition that went out against the ref.
Yes.
That Tottenham.
Anthony Taylor.
There's I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's 122,000 signatures on that petition.
Well, Tuchel was saying that even the players feel like nervous before the game when they know that he's.
Then it's scary.
Reffing it.
That's scary. And I know Tuchel made, you know, hectic comments after the game where he took the ref on and said like, it'll be better if he just does not ref any more Chelsea games. Yeah. I know that the Premier League took him up on that, and I don't know if they're gonna like take it any further. But it's a little bit frustrating because managers have a fight, they get sent off, they can't be at the next game. Anthony Taylor,
they get a ref the next game.
He gets the ref the next game. And it's a little bit. I mean, you and I are sitting here as non-Chelsea supporters, and we looked at that and went like, that is pretty hard. That's pretty tough. So I completely get the petition. I get, you know, I would love to know what the Chelsea fans think about.
Please let us know, guys.
Like, is this the right way of dealing with it? Can Anthony Taylor just not ref a Chelsea game? I don't think it works like that, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to a tough one for you. Liverpool against Crystal Palace yesterday. Raw feelings. It's fresh in your mind. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So look, in my preview to this game, where I made my predicted lineup and stuff, my worry basically came to life in this game because I knew that Harvey was going to start on that side where Henderson normally plays. I thought Henderson would still play, but just be on the other side. But we went with Milner. I'm not sure why. I didn't have a problem with it. It's not like Milner played bad or anything, but Henderson does all of the dirty work, all of Trent's dirty work. Trent bombs forward, Henderson is there all the time to cover him, or at least cover him till Trent can track back, you know. Where does the long ball come from? On Trent's side of the field. Trent's not there, and obviously Harvey's not there. Harvey's an attack-minded player. No Henderson there to cover. Zaha's in. It's just Van Dijk and Phillips at the back, and Zaha cuts in and places it. But look, we play a dangerous tactic. Like, the risk to reward is, it's very high. And Phillips, I don't know why we went with Phillips. I don't know why Gomez didn't start. That's the one thing I don't understand. I don't know if he has a little niggle or anything like that. But Phillips was the one that just didn't step up in time. You know, when you play in Liverpool's back line, you all have to step up at the right time to catch the player offside. And he was just the one that just by an inch kept Zaha onside. And fair play to Zaha, it was a fantastic finish. But I thought we were good in that first half. Like, we were really pressing Palace well. We were pinning them in their half. Nunez had a couple of chances, and I know we'll talk about Nunez. But, Salah was passing more than usual. He kept trying to play that. It looks like, we're just trying to find Nunez the whole time. Cut inside and play that little chip ball over. But I don't know if you want to say anything about the first half before we move on to the red card.
I think, I don't know if Crystal Palace somehow had like an idea in their mind of how to handle that game, but like the pressure that Liverpool put on Palace was immense. Like I think the first 20 minutes was, I couldn't even imagine being in the Palace shirt because it was really intense and it was just coming and coming and coming and there was no way out. And Zaha, I thought he was going to have a horrible game because he's one of those players when something doesn't go right the first time, he's already frustrated. But then he scored, and I was like, oh no, this is actually, you don't want to get Zaha fired up and good like that. But I must say the way that Palace took that pressure, and then as the game went, it obviously relieved. And yes, the red card had a lot to do with it, but the pressure relieved, and they started like getting a little bit more balls between them. And Zaha had, I think he had four chances that he probably would score any day of the week. Like the first one he took, that was probably the hardest chance that he took.
Yeah.
The rest he could have scored, and it would have been a hat-trick for Zaha, if not 4 goals.
Yeah.
The fact that he took the extra touch to make sure and not just go for the goal was blowing my mind. And I think Palace fans probably looked at that game really hoping to get something out of it. They got something out of it, but if I was thinking back on that game as a Palace fan, I probably been like, we could have probably won that game. Like if we just finished our chances, which they really created well. Yeah. And the one thing I wanted to say, like, that's not how Vieira likes to play. Like he isn't a manager that wants to do that. It's like a 4-4-1. I don't know what formation was, but basically everyone behind the ball. Yeah. He likes using the exceptional skill of his players and really get creative with it and stuff. So it must have been, so I think it was a Palace that it's very different, but the way they handled it was really, really
well, look, fair play to them because at the beginning of the game, the first 20 minutes, the game plan wasn't working. Like,
definitely not.
They were getting caught offside all the time. The long balls weren't working, but they stuck at it. They did not stop until it eventually did work. And it just shows you, like Zaha, he wasn't being the normal, like, whining all the time. Zaha, like, it just shows if he just focuses on his game and does what he has to do, he can be a great player.
Absolutely. I mean, he has to. I really hope he went to Eze after that game and said, look, man, if it wasn't for you, because that guy did a great job. For sure. He did a really good job. The fact that he was, because you have like one touch, like against Liverpool to get it right, to give your team a bit of space, because if you take one too many touches, the whole Liverpool team's on you. And he was able to get the ball in a strange position and do something just to get out of that like exceptional press, and then he can get the ball away, which relieved pressure and gave them an opportunity. And Eze was the player that was doing that. He was that link. Zaha just had to get the ball and try and finish. You must fair play it tough, but Eze was doing the tough work, I think. So very good link up between them.
Yeah,
for sure.
And Nunez, we just it just seems like we're missing that clinical edge at the moment. And I'm sure it'll come right for Nunez, but we were missing Mane in that game. Just Mane will always end up on the end of like a header. He'll just be somewhere, like something will just happen. We normally win those sort of games. Liverpool is still showing that we have the resilience to not lose, but we just can't get that that winning goal. So we're missing Mane. But should we go on to the Nunez? Madness. Look, him and Anderson were tussling with each other the whole time, having back and forths. And Nunez stupidly snapped. And there's no excuse for that. You can't do that. As soon as you put your head against the other player with any sort of force, the opposition player is going to fall to the ground and you're going to get sent off. So hopefully he learns from this now. And he's cost the team, We're not going to have Nunez against United now, against Newcastle and against Bournemouth. So And especially, like the Newcastle Bournemouth games, those were games where, like, he could get going with some goals, get some confidence. And now you can't do that. So it's a bit of a worry. 2 draws.
Yeah.
City win both their games. There's already a gap. It looks like it's going to be a long and tough season for Liverpool. But, things can change in an instant. But the level that has been set the last couple of years to finish with 90 plus points, to be 5 points behind, not 5 points, 4 points behind at this stage, that's already so tough to claw back.
Yeah. Look, I have to think, yes, the red card was stupid. That was a single player, that affected the team. He's new to the Premier League. He's going to eventually quickly realize how it works and stuff. So, I'm sure he got a good word from Klopp after that. But I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be level-headed again. I'm not too worried about Nunes for the rest of the season. And the Liverpool played so well. Like, you guys still look like a championship, like a champion, not a championship, like a team that can win, like a team that has the power to win the Premier League. With 10 men, you still dominated the game. You still had majority of the possession, majority of the chances, but 10 men. Like, that is a Premier League side that has to play against another Premier League side with 10 men. You'd automatically think that there's a complete different, the other team will have more possession and you'll have to defend more and just be more resilient. Like Arsenal were resilient against you guys when they had 10 men. That's the 10 men kind of game. That's what happens when you have 10 men.
Yeah.
Liverpool, that was the opposite. They still had that. They still had the press. They still had the chances. They still were attack minded. You still try to win the game. So that shows me that Liverpool your guys will come back. It's just very unfortunate things that are not Liverpool's fault, but players' fault that are causing you guys to not get the results. But I think it will come.
And a major part of us taking the game to Palace with 10 men was Diaz.
Absolutely.
The work rate was insane. He wasn't having the best of games, but when Nunes got sent off, he just became like a man possessed. He was just everywhere. And fantastic goal.
Yeah, it was a brilliant goal.
Yeah. And we've said many times, it's like the one thing that's missing from his game is just getting goals consistently. And hopefully that gives him a massive confidence boost. The one change that didn't work, though, from Klopp's side was bringing Tsimikas on for Robertson. I understand it, though, because his deliveries were really poor in that game. I must be honest. Robertson wasn't Robertson. So I understand him being taken off by Tsimikas.
Yeah, he probably had worse deliveries.
Yeah, it wasn't the best replacement.
He had. I saw a stat that he had zero balls in that actually
that really wasn't good.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Look, I don't know if you can maybe the way that the Liverpool had to play a little bit differently without their central man, and maybe it was. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it wasn't the greatest performance from us. I agree. I think this is what I want to ask you. That Anderson against with the red card on Nunes. Anderson was niggling at him the entire game before the red card. Like, they were constantly bumping shoulders.
Yeah.
And then I was watching Liverpool released this clip on Sporting where they were showing that he was just Nunes was in front of him, and then Anderson would just keep knocking him, and then I could see Nunes turn around and they're tuning each other, and it was constant. Do you think that Anderson? Do you think it was his plan to get Nunes sent off? Or do you think it was just in the game that it kind of happened and he kind of just took the opportunity? Or do you think it was in his mind?
I think this sort of thing happens in every Premier League game. I just don't think that strikers react all the time the way that Nunes did. These things happen all the time.
Yeah.
But obviously, the reason that it's being so in the spotlight is because Nunes reacted the way that he did. Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but before Anderson pushed him and then the headbutt happened, he tried to headbutt him before Nunes.
I actually did see that.
So he went for that back headbutt and then missed Anderson, and that's when Anderson pushed him, and then he went again for the... So... there's no way Nunes wasn't going to get sent off. He was too hot-headed. But at least this has happened now at the beginning of his Liverpool career, and he can just learn from this.
Absolutely. Look, dreadful start for his debut at Anfield, but I don't think Liverpool fans should write him. Liverpool fans should write him off or be too mad at him. He's a new guy in the team. Give him
Yeah.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll let him learn from his mistakes, and then he'll
Yeah.
come back.
Time for Firmino to come back in and
Yes.
step
Who
up.
knows? Maybe this is a huge opportunity for
Maybe.
Firmino. I mean, yeah. I think one of the results that a lot of people are probably very angry about, but a lot of people also a little bit like kind of laughing at the moment is the Manchester disaster against
Yeah.
Brentford. 4-0. I know you predicted Brentford to win, but did you believe in that prediction?
It was definitely like banter, you know.
Mm.
I did think Brentford could win, but come on, 4-0.
In that manner, it was.
But it's weird. It's almost like it's almost a shock. But once it happens, you're like, I'm shocked, but am I that surprised? Really?
Yeah.
It's so things at United are so bad. Like, first of all, you can't start with a 4-2-3-1, and your two holders are Ericsson and Fred.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, Fred and McTominay aren't enough together to do that a one-man job.
Yeah.
No, a Kante job, a Fabinho job, a Rodri job. So now replacing McTominay with an attack-minded midfielder, Ericsson, that's not what he wants to be doing.
No.
So of course Brentford are going to play it straight through them. And we've said you can't play Ericsson and Fernandes in the same team without proper protection behind, like a Kante. And United got punished big time. I mean, Brentford was scoring like every 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
I saw a funny tweet saying, somebody asked me, when does the United game kick off? And I responded, about every 5 minutes. Which is just so true.
It is so true. I mean, especially in that game. I mean, look, so would you say that the problem lies performance-wise in the middle? That's where they need to fix their problem, because
I mean, it's one of the obvious problems, but there's so many things going on. But people blame the Glazers, but it can't just be the owners. Like, the players have to take responsibility. The manager has to take responsibility. And talking about the manager, I don't know what the difference is right now. I'm not seeing a style of play where I go, oh, okay, I see what he's trying to do here. Like, you think of how Ajax play with the possession-based football. I'm not seeing that at all. At all.
It does seem like the players just. I really think Ten Hag has got an idea and he wants to do something, but you need to get the players to trust in what you're trying to do. And I think the players just don't. They themselves, it's basically we know all this pressure on us, we look really bad, but it's not my fault.
Yeah.
I'm doing my job, but I'm not getting the service, or I'm doing my job, but I'm not. No one's doing the runs, or so. It feels a bit like it's my teammates' fault kind of mentality.
Yeah, blame game.
A blame game, which is very ironic because you had De Gea coming to the interview after the game and said, "I want to take full responsibility for the game," which almost had the opposite. It had the opposite effect for me. Like, it almost looked like he was trying to take all the blame, but we all watched that game.
Yeah.
He was not responsible.
Yeah.
For the 4 goals. He was responsible for the 1 goal.
Yeah, for the
he was
goal.
not responsible for any of the other goals. So it was trying to do the right thing, but it did not have the effect. It didn't make me believe that the players are trying to take responsibility. It actually had the opposite effect.
But why is it that 3 managers now have come to the club and they all go, yeah, Maguire, Fred, McTominay, Fernandes, Shaw, like, you guys, you're my starters. Why?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. And then his new signing, Martinez, gets hauled off at half time. What does that say?
I don't know if there's like some kind of contractual clause in their
it's
contract.
almost like a conspiracy theory.
It does. It who knows? That's very true. Because I mean, I look at the United team and I'm like, this does not look like a good team. Like, maybe it's their performances and stuff, but like, I'm a Wolves fan and I wouldn't want any of the United players to come to Wolves ever. Like, It's just they don't look like the quality, players that they never were, basically, unfortunately. So, do you think there's a fix? Do you think that there's something they can do? Because right now they're sitting at the bottom of the table, rock bottom of the table, and nothing is making me believe that they're gonna rise above that. Besides the stature of the club.
Oh, well, the start to a fix would have been a great CDM, like a Basuma.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in charge of the. I don't know if it's still Ed Woodward, which it doesn't make sense to me because he is like, when it comes to the commercial deals and things like that for the club, he's brilliant. He brings in a lot of money for United, and then the Glazers decided to put him in charge of the football side of things. Why?
Yeah.
He's obviously doing a terrible job, and it just seems like United go like, he's good, get him. We think he's good, get him, and there's no real structure. And you must be thinking, like, if you are Donny van der Beek and you're sitting there on the bench, and at halftime McTominay is the one that comes on instead of you, like, what more can you really say? And we just spoke about Liverpool, and now we're speaking about United, and that's the next game. And yeah, I'm still worried. It is at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And it would be a perfect game for United to bounce back in. Same as Liverpool, but yeah, I'm still worried.
No, definitely. I mean, I know as a Liverpool fan, it's a bit scary going into a team that's in bad form. You don't want to lose that game. You'd rather, losing is like not an option because you don't want to be the team that they bounce back in. I get 100%. That, but I mean, just from my point of view, like, there's almost like Liverpool's the worst team that United, and yes, over City, because a lot of times with the derbies, it doesn't matter what form a team is in and what happened in the past. Derbies normally, like, it's a level playing field, and they kind of go at each other. I think the rivalry that Liverpool and Man United have is not in Man United's favour, and it's going to be a really tough one for them. But we'll get onto the fixtures. Martinez, like 5'9", what was it, 50-60 million?
Crazy. Yeah.
Like, is he worth that money? Like, what about him?
Not in the Premier League. He's not a. Look, of course, it's still early days, and he might prove us wrong. But Ivan Toney is pretty damn tall. Like, it's a total mismatch.
Yeah.
So, and he's going to come up against a lot of players like that. Say he's playing against Chelsea and he's defending like a Mason Mount or something. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But coming up against Ivan Toney
or Mitrovic,
like it's just not going to work. Like, you can't be 5'9" in the Premier League.
I mean, you'd argue that he's got like the ground duel sorted because he looks fast and physical, but
I understand.
There's nothing you can do about the
if he wants to play the Ajax way, I understand from Ten Hag, but he's learning very quickly that it's not that simple.
Exactly. No, I agree. It's a very interesting signing. He's not really proven it yet, but yeah. There's been a lot of attention on Man United being really bad, which arguably takes a lot of the credit away from Brentford, who were good.
Yeah,
they were brilliant. So for Brentford fans, it must be kind of tough because a lot of people are saying that Brentford won the game because United were bad, but
yeah,
I think on the same breath you can say Brentford won the game because they're really good.
And they were really good.
They were really good. I mean, their top man was doing his job.
Yeah, Tony was brilliant.
Very good link up play, very good counter attack. So, what from the Brentford game stood out to you? That you think
I think like we just spoke about Tony, I think he really stood out. He looks like he's stepping up massively. He looks like what Eriksen was for Brentford in that latter part of the season. Yes. Like, he's really like, okay, I'm the main man now, I'm going to step up to the plate.
Yes.
So that's what stood out for me. And it really looked like, honestly, in that second half, I think Brentford were like, I think they were honestly like felt bad. Like, really, genuinely.
Yeah.
I think they were like, let's show a bit of respect here. Let's not go full tilt here anymore.
Wow. I mean,
almost like let's, because I mean, you're 4-0 up. Save energy for the next game. You don't have to.
No, I do agree. I think it could have been a lot more. It could have been a lot more goals. Fair play to Brentford. That was a brilliant victory for them.
Yeah.
I know I put them in relegated position for the end of the season, but at
Me
the moment,
too.
at the moment they're going.
They're really proving us wrong. Ben Mee looks like he's
Oh.
slotted right in.
Yeah, he scored. He scored over
Yeah,
the weekend.
did.
Yeah. I think it was him. Was it his header that was
It was his
over
header.
Martinez?
Yeah.
Martinez
Just
had no chance.
literally just holding him like
Yeah.
just stay there. Like I'm just gonna header this. It's
That
just
was
yeah.
shame, man. Yeah. Fair. Well done, Brentford. That's Man
No,
United.
fair play.
Shame. A little bit down the road, we have probably the worst things for Man United to happen is City is absolutely dominant. We all expected a scoreline like this. What are your thoughts?
Just a breeze for City.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we both expected City to win emphatically, and that's exactly what they did. De Bruyne just marshalling the midfield like he always does, scored a great goal. Just no surprises.
Yeah.
Not shocked at all.
I think one of the most shocking things about the City game was everyone was like, 4-0, cool. Where's Holland? Where's Holland? Where's Holland? No Holland. What?
Yeah.
And when your team is like that, where people are like almost shocked that one of the people on the team didn't score, but the rest, I mean,
it makes it more scary, man.
That is crazy.
And that's like a team like Liverpool. That's what they don't have. They don't have a Nunez isn't scoring. Well, Gundogan in midfield will come up and score.
Yeah.
We don't have that. You
Yeah.
know? And that's what City do have. They have goal scorers all over the pitch. And they look like they are in cruise control. I haven't seen them tested yet.
Yeah.
At all.
Not even at the slightest. I mean, Pep, you can see Pep is sitting in there when he's just like,
Yeah. On to the next one.
On to the next one. I know that Holland was robbed off a goal from Foden that didn't pass to him. Foden should have definitely passed that, which would have given Holland a goal, and probably everyone would have spoken about Holland. But it wasn't his day. It wasn't his moment. Fair play to City though. They're a team. They play for each other. They look very, very well oiled. It's going to be very hard to catch them. But it's World Cup year. Who knows what? They probably, who knows what's going to happen. Yeah. So it was a very tough day for Bournemouth. I think they can shake that one off. Go on to the next one.
Yeah, there's no shock there.
Yeah, I think they can shake that one off. Speaking of a very well-oiled team in City, I want to move to Arsenal against Leicester. But you made a good point just before we started recording that Jesus under Arsenal is like a different beast than he was in City. So do you think that the team structure of City can prohibit players from really getting to their full potential? I could be seeing with Jesus at Arsenal.
I do think so. I think City really play in a way that everything that each individual does has to, has to benefit the collective, So
that does sound very Pep.
So that's my worry for Haaland, just in a personal way, is that I don't think he's going to be allowed to be off the leash like he was at Dortmund. And now you're seeing it the other way around with Jesus at Arsenal, who looks like he's just being allowed to just go express yourself, like do what you have to do. And you're seeing Jesus looks like he's always looked like a brilliant player, but especially now he just looks like I'm the man. Like that's basically how he looks.
He looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like and as a strike, it's so hard to judge strikers sometimes. Because you can only judge them on the amount of goals they score. But I always try and look at a striker just in how they perform, and like the goals should just come on your performance. That's the result of your performance, and the way he handles people around him, the way that his ball control, his distribution, his runs into the right areas. Like he doesn't just run into the right areas. He really controls. Yeah, that's his territory. The box is his territory, and the way he does it is incredible. Arsenal are benefiting off this guy massively. 2
goals, 2 assists.
He should have scored. I don't know. It was way more difficult for him in that game not to score a hat-trick. Like he had 2 or 3 chances after he had his 2 goals to score a hat-trick for him, and it was easy tap-ins on the far post that he just missed. I could not believe he didn't get it.
But it shows it's good. He's always in the right place,
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing.
He's in the right place, exactly. And he's got Saka that's just always linking up with him so well. I mean, Saka, I think that guy is absolutely incredible. The Arsenal team look like this is Mikel Arteta's like plan that he had when he came in
100%.
from last season. I know he had so much hate and so much slack, but he stuck to his guns. He used that pressure and he stuck with what he wanted to do, and he signed all these incredible young players that a lot of people didn't know about and didn't hear, and they were just stressing and they wanted him out, and now this is what he was planning, and it shows that managers come in, you got to give managers time before you judge them. A lot of fans can easily quickly go like out, he's not doing well, he's not being backed, the fans need to get behind him. And Arsenal's such a good example of that. Like I'm gonna say the Arsenal fans weren't behind Arteta. None of them can go say I was behind Arteta. They hated him, but now they're loving him. Fair play, because like he got back, he got his team together, he's putting it on the pitch, and it really is showing.
Yeah.
Do you think Arsenal look a little bit like Liverpool was before you guys really sorted out your defense?
A bit, yeah. I think like before Van Dijk, I think they do look extremely similar. I think there's going to be a lot of like 4-3s, 3-2s, those kind of games where Arsenal have to outscore the other team.
Because that's been the case in the last two. They didn't have to outscore Palace, but they were very open.
100%.
Palace had a lot of chances.
100%.
And Leicester had a lot of chances. And they scored, 2 goals. So they do look very open and vulnerable, but the quality of their attack is just winning them the games at the moment.
They do, yeah. Look, and it's similar to us in the sense of that we could see what he's trying to do. You can see what Arteta is trying to do, and that's what you can't see at United. That's why we are so like Ten Hag. I know that it's early, but you would still at least see some sort of style of play, even though he doesn't have all his players yet. I'm sure there's still plenty deadwood he wants to get out. You don't see something, whereas at Arsenal you can see, okay, this is the blueprint, this is where we want to get to. So 100%. I can see the similarities. It's gonna be difficult though for them, with Man City around.
I think where Arsenal's really lacking is that midfield. I don't think the midfield is as like solid. It's not a good enough Champions League / winning the title league midfield. Partey and Xhaka in the middle.
You could.
It's a bit high risk for me, I think.
Yeah, I think they are still missing. Like you could maybe say Partey is that rock in midfield, but not really. I mean, the fact that he still needs Xhaka with him. I mean, it's like a upgraded.
Yeah.
Fred and McTominay.
Yes.
I don't want to really compare, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
It's just an upgraded version.
And then obviously you have Xhaka's. You never know when he's going to do something stupid in the game for red cards. I mean that goal. I could see. Yeah, he. It's the part of Arsenal where I think is very risky.
Yeah.
They're playing very well, but I think to get to start feeling like they're up there with Liverpool and City, they're going to have to just maybe sort the midfield out a little bit. But right now they're doing a great job. Mm-hmm. They're playing super well. The midfield gets the balls to the front and they're really sorting it out. So fair play to that, I think. I wanted to give my moron of the week to De Gea for his miss in the first goal, which I thought was hilarious. But I want to give them a little bit of slack. And my moron of the week is going to go to Danny Ward, the Leicester goalkeeper.
That little...
I don't know what on earth he was trying to do there. And it's not about him. It's not about how that goal kind of went. It was just how it went in and when it went in. Like, Leicester were literally there. I think they got a goal. It was 2-1, and they were pushing the game. They're in the game now. They're going to go for it. And then to concede a goal after your team has worked so hard to come back into the game, and then it goes to 3-1. It's just like, I think that like must have. So that was is my moron of the week for a stupid mistake.
Yeah, Leicester are a bit like a downgraded Arsenal, in the sense that they also concede goals, but they can't outscore the other team. You know what I mean? Like they do score goals, but they can't outscore the other team.
That's very true. It sounds like a.
But Danny Ward, at least punch it.
Something. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, what the hell?
the worry, I think the biggest worry for Leicester is if they're going to lose Fofana, who's been like linked the
with
whole.
Chelsea.
If they're going to lose Madison, and if they're going to lose Tielemans, who I think came out and said that if he doesn't get signed, he's going to just let his contract run out at the end of the season, and he's going to go as a free. Which, if they lose those players, it's going to be, back to square one for Leicester, and they're going to have to rebuild again.
100%. I mean, their spine already, just losing Schmeichel.
That's
already such a knock to the spine of the team. And I think they will hold on to Madison. I don't think Newcastle will get him. But I think they will eventually get him. But I don't think in this window. But who knows? There's still the January transfer window down the road.
Yeah.
So, I'm worried. For Leicester, I'm worried.
I'm worried too. There was a couple more games that we can just quickly run over. One I want to start with is the Forest and West Ham game. There was one of the commenters made a beautiful saying where he said, this Forest scored their goal, and that was a celebration that was, 23 years in the making. Back in Premier. I thought that was really special and beautiful. Yeah. The manner of the goal was...
not the best goal to get the first one back at home.
It was just funny, this big signing, and he just completely scuffs it.
It forced to Lingard. You just think, Lingard's just going to caress this, and it's just a fluff.
He's so lucky. I think if that didn't go in and West Ham ended up losing the game or drawing that game, Lingard would have been under the pump.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious. Yeah, but they beat West Ham, at home. Yeah. Which speaks to our comments on their home form, which is going to be, to lose so badly against Newcastle the week before, and this is what I've been saying about how much a week changes, and then they go home and they play West Ham, who look really good. West Ham is one of the strangest. I feel really sorry for them because they're playing so well. They're really creating a lot of chances and they really look solid, but they lost the opening 2 games against the champions and then against a team that's come up, but arguably one of the toughest starts.
Yeah.
Like Crystal Palace, who had Liverpool and.
I wanted to ask you, what did you think of West Ham's goal that got disallowed, where the defender got in Antonio's way? Antonio does push, but I don't know what. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I think it was correctly ruled out, but I'll tell you why. Because I don't think it was Antonio's intention to knock the player over so that he can't get to Rice, who had the ball. He was just trying to make a run, and the player wasn't moving. And it's not his job to move.
Yeah.
It was Antonio's job to run around the player. So because Antonio, ran over the player that was directly involved in trying to go for Rice to stop the ball, to tackle him, if he ran a player on the other side that was far away, if he ran over a player that was on the other side or far away from the ball, then leave it. But because it was the player that was looking to tackle Rice or stop Rice, I think it was correctly ruled out.
I think the occasion got to Antonio. He's a former Forest player, so I think coming back to the stadium, it looked like he struggled with the atmosphere. Yeah. But ever since you said that thing about, what's the Forest manager's name again?
Steve Cooper.
Steve Cooper. Ever since he said that thing about his eyes, man, every time they cut away to him on the side there and he's going...
It does look like
man, you put that in my head, man. It's all like, he looks like a mole, man.
It does. It looks like he just woke up. I swear. But that was a big victory for them. I do. The penalty being saved, Rice. I don't know. It looked like a very weak penalty.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best.
It wasn't going in the corner.
I mean, the keeper chose the right way. That was going to be saved. You could have easily chosen to go the wrong way, but. I'm glad the penalty was saved. I'm speaking as a neutral, I really am. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful home.
No, I'm happy for Forest.
I think West Ham will be fine. They'll go on to win many games. I think Forest just needed something after such a long time, So that was it was a very joyful victory to see.
9 out of 17 penalties saved for Dean Innocent, which is
impressive.
A really good stat. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know penalties. I don't know. I honestly don't think you can become a good at saving penalties. It's such a game that you have to it can go either way. It's so easy to go either way. So But he's been making the right guesses and the right calculator guesses. If so.
Yeah.
So that is an impressive stat, I have to say. I know I said last week West Ham was going to come and crash Forest. I really think so, because they were outplayed by City and they looked really good. They just played City, but so when they lost the game, I was very surprised. But they did still look like the West Ham that finished 7th last season. They do look really good. So I think they'll be back. But it was a tough start for them. I think they had the second toughest start.
It really looks like it's going to be such an interesting season.
Yes, especially in the top.
You can't really predict
Cannot.
any of the results.
Just these first 2 weeks, how everything is completely changed.
There's been so many draws happening. I mean, Liverpool drawing the first 2 games. You don't see these things coming. But Bar City, all these other results, it's fascinating.
Steven Gerrard against Frank Lampard for the first time as managers.
Yeah.
The first game of the week, of the game week 2. I thought it was a pretty good game. There was a player that came on for Everton, Onana, that changed the game. I know he conceded the Everton's second goal, because he tried to run out and he just got taken. The ball just got taken from him and they scored, but he made up for it like instantly. But which was his ball led to a ball that actually went into the goal for Everton. But him alone in that midfield for Everton looks really good. He's got like this Mbappe run almost, like super long, strong legs, and he's really fast and he's creative and he gets the ball and he just thinks forward. He doesn't. Yeah. Behind him is in the pass, forward is what he wants to do. So that is a player that Everton needs, and I really think he's going to do well this season. So when he came on, before he came on, I was like, this is the Everton we saw last week. Yeah. They look boring. They're going to be relegated. I know I didn't predict that, but they feel like they're going to be relegated. But then when Onana came on, really good job from Onana.
And Gordon being linked with Chelsea.
That's a very interesting.
He's like, one of Everton's main threats. So if they had to lose him, I know Everton rejected the bid, but I can see Chelsea coming back in. I don't really understand it from a Chelsea point of view.
They need a striker.
Yeah. They are being linked with Aubameyang, who I would stay away from personally, but it doesn't really make much sense.
Aubameyang feels like a striker that would go to Chelsea and it just fails. He just feels like a Werner or like a Lukaku.
Well, look, Chelsea and strikers.
He's the perfect fit to just carry on that trend almost.
That's so true.
But Gordon, I think Everton will hold on to him.
If he went there, he wouldn't start.
It was a huge
He's not going to start it.
No, exactly. And I think it was like a £40 million bid, which is massive.
I'm sure his head must be turned though.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, why not? But it's a very interesting one. And then just a little mention on Declan Rice. Danny Ings. His
very
goal
good goal
was a very good goal.
Yeah.
Just on the turn, typical striker goal.
Yeah.
He had one thing in mind.
It looked like it was getting away from him, and then he just
beautiful. Yeah.
Great goal. But a very important win for Gerrard.
Huge.
They haven't had the best home record under him, so to get that win.
Very good win. I think that they can definitely take that one forward. Sure. Wolves against Fulham. I don't have much to say about the game. It was a little bit of a typical Wolves performance for me. From last
season to even the Leeds game.
Yes, I don't know. We bossed the game.
Yeah,
we bossed the possession.
Chances.
We created them more chances. We just don't. We're not scoring. But I think I know why. If you had to take the attackers in the game and the defenders in our game, our midfield. You can split our midfield and say, okay, Neves goes to defense because he's a holding midfielder, and you put Dendoncker it was actually like a CDM, but we play him as like an attacking because we have Neves doing his job. Yeah. There's all our attacking players are wingers, basically. We don't have a striker at the moment.
They're short, stocky,
fast-paced runners, but they're all basically wingers. So you put them all up front. Everyone's going to the sides. Yeah. And then you have to okay, cool. And then there's no one really going into the middle, and then there's no one really in the box because everyone's being prepared for the ball to come back so they can, So all our wingers and stuff, all our wingers are up front, which is basically our entire attacking field, and then all our defense is at the bottom, keeping Wolves a solid unit like we are. but then there's no one in the middle. So
Yeah.
what happens is Neves gets the ball we get the ball, the defense wins the ball back, and then there's not a short ball to play to in the middle to get the attack going. All the wingers just see Neves or one of the defenders or Collins or Kilman get the ball, and then the wingers just turn and they just start sprinting up the field like wingers do, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's these long balls, and fair play to Neves, like he has that range, and it's incredible how he gets the ball to them. But we need a midfielder. We need a proper midfielder who's going to link the play. If we can just link our solid defense and our incredible attack, I would be.
And who's that
That would
midfielder
be-
going to be?
Yes. So we have. It's not officially announced yet, so I don't want to look like an idiot.
But they did, after I made the post on Bench Talk, go check out Bench Talk on Instagram. There was news literally like 10 minutes later where they did accept the bid now.
Oh wow.
So it's official that they've accepted the bid.
So it just has to be announced. Yeah.
They just have to, medical.
Well, Wolves has to be announced, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been recording for a while, so it could have been announced yet. But yeah, Mateus Nunes.
I can see you excited.
I woke up this morning and I was just flooded with all this news, and I didn't want to believe it because I know Nunes rejected Wolves. He said he's waiting for Liverpool. He said Liverpool because he wanted to go for Liverpool to play Champions League football. He is a player that deserves the right to say that because he's that good. The fact that we managed to sign him blows my mind. Like it is actually
For a record fee.
fee.
42 mil.
What a bargain! What a bargain! Like that's less than Jota, and that's less than what you guys bought Jota for. And I rate this guy. I made a wish list of players that I wanted in the Wolves team, and he was one of them. And to have him is, look, this is the exciting part. Now I just want to see it, on the field. I really do. And I don't think for the Tottenham game, if he's signed, he will have an impact. He'll probably come on.
Yeah, the exciting thing about him is he has that ability to turn and then take somebody on in midfield.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like a Luis Diaz and a Kante almost. Like he's got
he
this
drives with the ball.
drives, super close control, and he's got a massive right
Looks
foot.
strong as well.
Physical is 6 foot. He's solid. Yeah, really good.
It's a really good sign.
So if this could be Wolves'
this is what they needed. If they are gonna potentially break top 10 this season or keep up with everybody else.
Exactly.
Him and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Guedes, how do you say his name?
Guedes.
Guedes.
But Guedes.
Those are two
Very good
signings.
I think. We still need a striker though, because he's the midfielder and which is now the link-up player. We still need that finisher. Jimenez will come back, but he's 31. He doesn't look like the real old Jimenez. So a striker would be really good, but to now have Mateus Nunes in the team is a massive one. So I just wanted to focus on like the result was disappointing.
Yeah.
Fulham didn't look like the Fulham that played against Liverpool last week.
Yeah.
They looked like a typical championship team, just back. They're getting pressured by the crowd. It's getting to them, and I do think that Mitrovic should have been sent off in that game because he had a bad challenge, which should have been yellow, and then he had an altercation with Morgan Gibbs-White, which should have been another yellow, but it was in the end of the game, so it wouldn't have mattered. But I think I would like to see some consistency throughout the seasons and with the refs and stuff. But very disappointing result, I think. But let it go. Ready for the Tottenham game. We'll probably lose, but I'm ready for the season. I've got a lot of excitement back for the Wolves camp. That's and I just want to thank Jose Sarr for again saving Wolves. Oh, jeez, man, that guy.
He's been good for you guys.
He's a bit of a yo-yo, but like he's allowed to be. He's an aggressive goalkeeper. He saved the penalty. He saved Wolves again, we should have actually lost. It was more of a point gained than 2 points lost, if I put it that way. Yeah. Southampton and Leeds. What are your thoughts on Rodrigo? Without Rafinha,
he's being the Rodrigo that I thought that he was gonna be when he first came to Leeds, because he was great in La Liga. So I was shocked that he didn't step up to the plate when he first came.
Do you
to
think
Leeds.
it was Rafinha being there that had an impact?
Could be.
On him?
Maybe he's one of those players that need to be the main man to step up. You get those kind of footballers. Maybe he's one of them. So that could very well be the case. But the point is, he's looking good. What's he got? 3 goals already?
Yeah, he's got 2.
Two goals, and he scored in the first game, didn't he? As well?
I think he did against the Wolves. Did he score? I can't remember if he scored against Wolves. I think he definitely he played super well. I remember him playing very well, but I can't remember if he scored or had an assist. But 2 goals last week. That was a good.
But Leeds still still looking, you know, suspect at the back. They can
Very.
score goals, but that's just the worry.
South.
Southampton the same.
Yeah, South.
Pretty much the same.
It was almost two teams that play so similarly that just the one scores
just
early,
cancelled each
they
other.
cancelled each other out for a 2-2. It wouldn't have been a 0-0 ever, but it would have been a 2-2. I agree. I do, however, two players, Joe Rebo for Southampton, that came once their new signing from Rangers. He came onto the field, and Sakamara came onto the field, number 18. And the way that they literally changed the entire game for Southampton.
Yeah.
Losing 2-0, bring on your creative, explosive players, new signings, and both goals were there were because directly involved with them too. Absolutely, like Joe Rebo's goal took a bit long to get the ball off his foot, but he scored it, which mattered.
Yeah.
And I just they changed the entire game, so that's very good signs for Southampton that they have some of those Crystal Palace like skillful players out there that they can just let go, let the reins go and just be creative and be crazy. So that was a good sign for Southampton, which might give them a bit of hope for the season. But I am worried they don't.
One injury to let's say Price, for example, and then they're in massive trouble.
Big trouble. So I still don't have good feelings and high hopes for Southampton.
Yeah,
I do think they're going to struggle a lot this season. Which maybe will make your prediction of Ralph Hasenhüttl being your first manager.
Well, look, I mean, there's other managers Lampard might lose 3 in a row, and then
It's a bad start there.
Horrible start.
And then to finish off the stalemates, we had Brighton and Newcastle. A proper stalemate of a game. Yeah, they just completely cancelled it out. If Southampton and Leeds drew 0-0 and Brighton and Newcastle drew 2-2, I would have been very surprised. It's the fact that the scoreline would suggest Newcastle looking really solid unit, Brighton looking like a proper solid unit.
But both teams that are able to play decent football.
Absolutely, the chances were there for Brighton. I think they should have won. They had the more shots, the more possessions. They were at home, so they were the favourites to win that game.
Yeah, especially coming off.
And
beating
United. And if they did beat Newcastle, what a start that would have been to the season.
Yeah.
Oh my word. So unfortunately for them they didn't. But
a win and a
draw
for both teams. A win and a draw. That's a good start to the season.
Very good start for them. Last thoughts on this round of fixtures. Anything that you would like to finish off? Let go. Any player you want to mention? Ref that you want to mention or anything?
What I will say is it was just a fantastic weekend. It had everything.
It did.
It had a lot of goals, and just a lot of suspicious decisions.
Yeah. And surprises, which are now almost not surprises. You can't even call the United loss an upset anymore.
But I just my only worry is just City potentially running away with it.
They seem like the only
not just for Liverpool's sake, just for the league to be competitive. I think that the top 4 race is going to be insanely competitive, but the title race, I am a bit worried. I know it's the beginning of the season, and I know that when Europe gets involved, that will shake things up. Playing twice a week, then we'll see the true strength of everybody's squads.
I still stick to my thing. I still stick to my belief. When the Champions League start, Pep's entire focus is going to be on the Champions League.
Look, there's lots of twists. There's that, and there's the World Cup. So
exactly,
there's so many things to factor in. It's hard to predict at this. At this early stage.
Absolutely. We can look forward to round 3. A couple of fixtures we can mention and just our predictions on it. We've the first game on Saturday is the lunchtime kickoff with Tottenham against Wolves.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'll
Tottenham at home.
Tottenham at home. Yeah.
Oh man.
What do you think?
I would say it's either 2-1 or 3-1 to Tottenham. I must admit.
Yeah.
Tottenham at home.
Yeah. They're almost a different team at home completely.
Yeah.
I mean, what gave me a lot of hope for this game was their performance against Chelsea, but I'm going to try and forget it because they are the team that beat Southampton. That's the team they are at home. Wolves do have a good record against Tottenham. surprisingly. But we don't look like a team that's going to be able to outscore them. And that's if you want to beat Tottenham at home, you have to outscore them. That's what you have to do. And Wolves can't outscore anyone at the moment.
But
so,
maybe Nunes will be starting this game, eh?
yeah,
Never know.
I don't think
If he's
so.
there in time, eh?
I think Guedes will start, which will be
That
good.
would be cool.
And hopefully we can bring on a Adama Traore to cause some havoc.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going for a 2-0 to Tottenham.
2-0.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Ouch.
But after the Tottenham game, I'm going to be setting our sights to the future. I think Palace against Villa.
That is an interesting game. I do think Palace might edge. Either Palace is going to win or it's going to be a draw. I don't think Villa's going to win this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a fun 2-2 draw.
Oh, that's a good prediction. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Palace.
Okay.
Palace have lost 2 games. They had a really tough start. They had good practice against 2 good teams.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to come out full force, ready for their 3 points. So 2-1 to Villa. I think Coutinho's going to score in this game for Villa. But yeah. Everton against Nottingham Forest.
Ooh.
At
Everton need a win desperately.
Yeah.
Desperately. Especially at home. I'll say 2-0 to Everton actually.
Wow. And okay.
I think they're gonna get their season started
Against Forest, yeah. I think Forest is still riding that high. And I still am not convinced by Everton. Besides Onana, I'm not convinced. So I'm gonna go 1-1.
But are you not worried at all that Forest have gone for this approach where they've made 13 signings?
No, it's actually brilliant because Forest, their entire championship team was almost like a loanee team. They had a lot of loans and stuff. So now they came up to the Premier League and they had to make all these signings. They had a championship team who scraped through the playoff rounds to get into the Premier League. So they didn't have, and then their best players left because they were all on loan. So they were forced to make all these signings. They were forced to spend all the money to be in the Premier League. But what's good now is now they have all these signings. It's going to take, they might actually be relegated. Most probably be relegated. But if they can manage to stay up, that is their goal. They've got a team that now is going to take this season to gel and get familiar with each other and become a solid unit. Then next season, whether they get dropped down or whether they stay in the Premier League, they'll have a good team.
Yeah.
So the signings that they had to make, they had to make. They just didn't have any other choice. So they do have a lot of, basically our brand new team. But don't look too much into it this season. If they get relegated, they've got a brilliant team to come back up. That's one good thing, if they get relegated.
Yeah.
If they don't get relegated, they've got a good team that's now had a whole season together. And they can go into the next season a little bit more chilled, a little bit more on each other's wavelength and stuff. So, yeah, I think they had to.
Yeah.
It's not ideal to have a whole new team signed, but they had to. Yeah. But yeah, I still think that them coming up has got a lot of belief and stuff. So I'm gonna go 1-1.
Okay.
Just to not believe in Everton yet, but 1-1.
Yeah.
I think they won't be able to beat Everton.
That is Lampard under pressure.
Yes. Yeah. Fulham against Brentford.
I think that Fulham will bounce back. Fulham at home seems that the 2 games are so different. The first game and the second game. You can just see away from home.
They almost like what we predicted.
They need that home crowd behind them. Fulham is what it seems like. So I think back at Craven Cottage, I think that Fulham will win 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, I think Brentford will score.
Yeah, I'm gonna mimic that scoreline. I think you're spot on. A lot of people are thinking Brentford 4-0 against United. They are now the team on the rise, but this probably will show that Man United were just that bad. Yeah. Leicester City against Southampton. Oh, it's also an interesting one. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I think I'm gonna say 3-1 to Leicester.
To Leicester.
Yeah.
I think Leicester will win, definitely. Yeah. And I'm gonna go 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to go through one, but I don't want to copy you again. Bournemouth against Arsenal.
Oh,
Ooh. At the not up to standard ground, according to the Premier League.
yeah. I think Arsenal will win.
Mm.
Jeez, and then that's a really good start to the season for Arsenal.
That is
I think they will win, and I think it's going to be same as my last prediction, the 3-1.
3-1
To Arsenal.
Yeah, look, like we've been saying, Arsenal is open.
I think Jesus is going to score again.
I'm thinking it's going to be a 4-0.
Oof.
Two
in a row, eh?
Yeah, 4-0, 2 in a row. I think Arsenal, like I said, I think they are open. I think Bournemouth are going to have chances, but I don't think they're going to be able to take those chances.
Oh, and goal difference is important at the bottom there.
Yeah. No, with Jesus, like, against a team that's going to be stressing with him in front there. Oh, it's going to be a tough. That's two tough games for Bournemouth, eh?
Yeah.
City and Arsenal straight up been given how
and they have us
soon
as well.
Oh, so that's tough. So I think Arsenal are going to win 4-0. West Ham against Brighton. This might be West Ham's chance.
Game. But that is a good game there.
It's at West Ham, yeah.
I'm gonna say
in London.
2-0 West Ham.
2-0 West Ham. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 West Ham. They just because they've shown a lot of quality, and there can only be that many games that you get so unlucky to not get your chances. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we speak about this, but they hit the top bar. West Ham hit the top bar at Forest twice, where it like bounced, and then people were like waiting for the watch to vibrate on the ref because I was so unlucky, man, unlucky. But yeah, West Ham I think will win that one. Leeds against Chelsea at Ellen Road.
Look, if Chelsea play the way they did against Tottenham, I think they'll beat Leeds quite comfortably. But the fact that it's away from home. And Leeds can score goals, Rodrigo, like we just spoke about.
And you don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea these days. You don't know. No.
I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
Oh, for Leeds, that will be huge, I have to say. I'm going to back the Blues in this one. I think they are angry. They are feisty. They're fierce. They're not going to be bossed around again. I know Leeds are probably the worst, Leeds are probably going to approach the exact same as Tottenham, to be honest. But I think with playing Tottenham, with that fresh in their minds, they're going to try and cancel that out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So I think they'll beat Leeds.
No, you're probably right. I think as a Liverpool fan, I'm just hoping.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think they'll beat Leeds 2-0. I've no idea who's going to score their goals though.
Maybe Sterling to get his first one?
Yeah, jeez, man. I'm actually so surprised he hasn't scored yet.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Sterling, he will score a lot of goals, but you saw against Tottenham, there was that one where he blazed it over the crossbar.
Yeah.
He's going to have a lot of those.
Yeah.
That is Sterling in a nutshell.
That's so true. Maybe I have a hat trick. Yeah. Jason will be very happy with that one. Newcastle United against Manchester City.
Oh, come on. Hey, you never know. It actually sounds like a good game.
It does.
Because it's at Newcastle. If it was at the Etihad, I'm not so sure. I'm going to really hope now. And I'm going to say that it's going to be like a really entertaining 2-2.
Wow. That would be amazing.
At least, come on, can City at least draw a game?
Yeah. Yeah. 3-0.
Yeah. To Newcastle.
Yeah, 3-0 to City. I can't think of any player in Newcastle's team that's able to nullify the midfield and the strikers.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone.
I would not be surprised at all if City breeze past.
Maximan's going to have a tough game. I don't think he's going to... Say Maximan's not going to have that space to do his thing.
Just, but somebody needs to. Drive it Ake, drive it Diaz, man.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And teams need to... If teams like that, if mid-table teams play City, they might lose. But if you're going to lose in style. Go for it, I know it's easier to say.
But I wanted to ask you a quick question. Ake. He's just like he's the starter now.
Yeah. Who used to
sense-
start there?
that's-
Walker? Or
Uh,
Cancelo?
oh no, at right back or yeah. it's
Oh,
either
so he's
Walker-
playing centre.
back.
He's on. I thought he was playing.
No,
on the,
centre back.
oh, he's playing centre.
And he's just slotted in
Who did he take his? Who took
really
his?
well.
Who?
Like Stones or whoever, or Laporte, whoever normally partners Diaz.
Wow. And Ake is starting now. Eh?
And he's really done.
He's
well.
also quite like,
He used to come on every now and then, but
he's quite like short as well, and quite like interesting.
yeah, but he's done really well.
He's maybe proof that Martinez can work.
Maybe.
Because I know Stones and Laporte are two big guys, you know. So that's
Yeah.
I wonder
Martinez
why.
just doesn't have Rodri in front of him.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, he's been playing very well. Look, to me, honestly, I haven't even noticed that he's like the new guy in the back, but he's just been brilliant.
It just shows you. Man,
I mean,
everyone just knows the style of play, the system so well.
To be fair, the backline of City have not been under any pressure.
Yeah,
really.
And look, that could be credit to City.
Yeah,
the way they keep
the
the ball.
Absolutely, yeah. But I haven't really seen him properly tested like a one-on-one or like a running his back towards ball. So last game again. I don't know if Monday is going to become a bad
talking
day.
about a week feeling like a year.
Yeah.
This is one of those situations.
Manchester United against Liverpool at Old Trafford.
You go first.
Okay, look, Man United, I can't picture right now, whether they're on the training ground or whether they're in the locker room or whether they're at home, they are probably not sleeping well. They are stressing, they're fighting. Ten Hag is trying to. I don't think it's going to take a week to recover from a 4-0 loss to Brentford. I really don't. So coming up against a Liverpool team that is a little bit like hard done by, just not in terms of the decisions and stuff, just by like what had to happen for them to lose that, to draw that game. Liverpool's going to come out firing, and you know what? Liverpool love beating United at Old Trafford. It's one thing beating them at Anfield, but to go beat them in their own ground. I know you love that kind of. So I think they're going to go out super strong. I think Firmino is going to take the chance. He's going to take his opportunity.
I really hope so.
I do see Firmino dropping a bit and not really being the central striker. He's been very player.
That's where he's best.
So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to score your goals. But you've got Diaz, you've got Salah. Yeah, so I wouldn't be
Salah
surprised.
hat-trick last season at Old Trafford. Look, I'm going to say 2-0 to Liverpool.
Brilliant. I think that's only fair.
I hope so.
I think it'll be
none of my predictions.
I think it'll be 3-0. Yeah.
Love it.
3-0.
That would be great.
3-0 to United. Happy 3-0 to Liverpool. Yeah, and that'll just. But the sad thing is, people are gonna. Again, it's gonna be another week of people just talking about how bad United is. Fair play, but you're not gonna lose 4-0 to Brentford and go beat Liverpool. Sorry, this is not gonna happen. So, yeah, I think a good week of fixtures, some exciting fixtures coming. Any last thoughts before we finish up?
No, I'm just gonna go away. I'm gonna forget about last night's results. Amant and I are gonna go and play some football tonight. Yeah, and hopefully. I'm gonna wear my wool shirt to celebrate the Nunes signing. Thanks everybody so much for watching and listening again. Where can you find us? To see us, find us on YouTube. For the listeners, you can find us on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please leave a comment. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Is there anything that we said that you guys disagree with? What did you think of Anthony Taylor's refereeing on Sunday? Let us know, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.